Теперь петербургский театральный сезон онлайн.
Good evening, dear friends. My name is Alexander Platonov, and I'm happy to welcome everybody who loves theater, who join us today from different parts of the planet. Today is October 13th, and this is already the fourth day of the festival, St. Petersburg Theater Seasons Online, which is carried out here with the support of the Culture Committee of St. Petersburg. This year, these artistic meetings happen to be in the space, in the premises of one of the oldest institute of Russia. This is the State Russian Institute of Scenic Arts. It's exactly this institute that presents today the performance which you are going to see and watch at 8 o'clock, staged by Yuri Krasovsky. And before we show our performance, we have a traditional meeting with the artist, and I want to present to you Serafima Gertseva, the actress who plays Natasha in the performance, and Anna, who plays in the lower depth. Actor Zhukov, and other actors who play Satin and other characters. So for our English-speaking viewers, we broadcast our performance and our session from YouTube. If you prefer Russian version, you can see also the broadcasting of the Russian version without translation and in contact. Before we start our conversation, I offer for your attention a short video about the history of this institute and also the artistic director of the performance, about the theater pedagogics. Here, in the very center of St. Petersburg, on both sides of Makhavaya Street, there is the Russian State University of Scenic Arts. There were times when weavers used to settle down here, Khamovniki. Later on, the Tsar's cellarage and the Tsar Zoo located here. People of artistic professions used to live here in the 19th century, such like poets Shevchenko, Tyutchev, composers Glinka and Dargamyshsky, writer Goncharov, and scientist Mendeleev. Right on the place of the main building of the Institute of Scenic Arts, there lived friends of Lermontov, and he used to be here very often, but not in this house, because this house was built in 1907 for the general wife Bezobrazova by architects Strikalov, Vladovsky, and Benoit, a representative of the famous artistic family. But financial difficulties forced the owners of the building to sell it to the state in 1914, so the accounting office of the Soviet of Ministers was located here, and even the apartment of the Prime Minister of Russian Empire. Different organizations were accommodated here until in the end of the 20th there was organized a School of Arts here. In 10 years, this school was transformed in a state Leningrad Theater Institute, where, together with the classes run by famous teachers Sushkevich, Makareva, Vivien, Zon, appeared a faculty of theater. And at the beginning of the 60s, Legitimic Leningrad State Institute of Theater and Film got another building in Makhavaya number 35, where the Students' Theater found its place. And this building also had its history. The building was erected in the edge of the 20th by architect for the Tennishev School, which was organized by famous ethnologist and sociologist Tennishev. The education establishment was the most privileged in the Tsar Russia. Children from respectful, wealthy families studied here. Unlike other schools, students of Tennishev School never wore uniform. They didn't assess students with scores and didn't have transition exams. Main idea was to develop freedom, his interests. That's why the students of the school carried out guided tours around St. Petersburg and the suburbs, carried out scientific experiments. They paid a lot of attention to physical training and just culture, of course. So Vladimir Nabokov and Osip Mandelstam graduated from the Tennishev school. After Tenishev's death, financial support to the school was decreased, and they offered their premises for rent to the Literature Fund. Literature Fund carried out the party celebrations of classics. Futurists had their poetry parties. Merezhkovich and Malevich used to read their lectures here. Akhmatova and Yesenin used to read their poems. Outstanding theater master Meyerhold staged his little strolling company and a stranger. And it was here where Lyubov Mendeleyeva made the first readings of the poem 12 by Bloch. After the revolution, for some period of time, there was an institute of live word worked here. Nikolai Gumilev read his lectures here. In 1922, the first in the world children's theater was opened here, Leningrad TUS. When TUS moved to a new building at the Pioneer Square, this building was turned into a students' theater. This is how both old buildings happen to be parts of one and the same education establishment. Such prominent actors like Nikolai Cherkasov, Arkady Raikin, Alisa Frendlich, Alexander Galibin, Konstantin Khabensky and many other actors graduated from this institute. Here in the Institute of Scenic Arts, we're going to meet the deans of the drama faculty, the honored worker of culture, Yuri Krasovsky, for the sake of the conversation about theater pedagogics, which actually has its initial idea to bring up people. So what do you think? What are the main qualities should have the person to do the theater pedagogics? Patience. It's patience. He should love his students. But you have just enrolled your new course, and we can hear your students standing behind the door. What qualities do you appreciate most of all in your students when you enroll them? What makes you choose this very person? Well, first of all, talent. Most of what they show during exams can be noticed by just intuition. If the potential student is talented, we have to discover that and to reveal that during the exam. And in this case, the selection of people might be successful, because the most difficult situations happen when someone gets enrollment by mistake. This causes tragedy with the students and their teachers. The most important is to reveal this natural talent. This is the most important thing. And there are a lot of them, and gradually you start falling in love with them, understanding all their drawbacks and advantages, and trying to help them to avoid mistakes. Nevertheless, to find such a seed is the most precious feature of pedagogics. and help them to develop, to cultivate that seed of natural talent. Thank you very much for your time and for interesting conversation. We cannot keep you any longer from your students. We thank you very much for your time, in the meaning that we thank God. I wish you health and for your work. And again, we are in the office, so people, the students sit quiet because they see their teacher on the screen. But still, we have to talk here. And before we start, I want to pay attention of our viewers and spectators that you are very welcome to ask your questions to everybody who is here in the office, and in your comments and in the player YouTube. Every time when you ask questions, please name yourself and give us the name of the city from where you watch us, because we need to know the geography of our spectators. And there is a very nice bonus on behalf of our company, is that at the end where we will draw the conclusions and we select the most interesting question asked during this session. So there will be a prize, there will be a gift, at the end there will be an award. So let us start the conversation with the question that how did you come to this profession? When did you decide that you want to be an actor? Serafima, when did it happen to you? How did you realize and understood that you would like to be an actress? When I was just really very little, my parents told me about that, and then later I liked very much to recite poems on the chair during the New Year. Well, this is as a minimum. I always loved to be somewhere on the hill and start reciting poems. And my parents came to understand that maybe I have to try theater studio, and at the age of 7 I went to the theater studio in St. Petersburg. I'm from St. Petersburg. And what kind of studio it was? That was the Bluebird studio. They exist even today. That was the house, and this is the real house and the home where they raise future actresses. Well, it's clear. This is a direct road when you understand it from the very beginning. Andrey, what about you? Are you from St. Petersburg? No, I'm not from St. Petersburg. I'm from a village. I'm a village boy from Krasnodar, but my story is very similar. My parents, they have noticed my wish and my will that I'm very artistic. I didn't have inclinations for mathematics, and they always sent me to different amateur activities, to the circus, to hip hop in the village. No, every day I went to the city, but I couldn't stand it longer than a month, because I didn't like all those things that my parents wanted to get me involved. And then when I actually in the last moment, when I already started to quarrel with my parents and asked them to leave me alone, so they just sent me to the theater amateur like circle or department, and I stayed there for 5 years, and I realized that I don't want any other things. So, did you enter for the first time? No. First time I entered the Institute Culture together with Ivan, and then after first year in the Institute of Culture, we went here, and that was very stressful. So first, when you go here, when you go to Moscow, because the major institutes are located in St. Petersburg and in Moscow. So the first moment I thought about Moscow, I wanted to target the Moscow colleges, theater colleges and institutes because they earlier start their enrollment. And actually I failed nearly all the exams over there. They didn't expect me to be the actor over there, but when I came to St. Petersburg, actually I found a very warm welcome here. So, Ivan, how did it happen with you? So, very direct way, and you're already in the stage. I'm I am also from a village from Republic Komi. When I was a kindergarten boy, I loved singing very much and dance. I was singing, dancing, and I always performed in our village club. And then when I was graduating this school, I decided to combine things which I could do, singing, dancing, reciting, and I decided that I have to pass an exam on literature, and I went to St. Petersburg and I entered the Institute of Culture. After a year in the Institute of Culture, then the interesting thing is that he didn't even know about this institute in Mahavaya Street. Well, because I didn't know actually, I didn't know at all. I was not aware of many things. There were many things I was not aware of. Well, it's very interesting. So maybe already now we start getting questions from our spectators. Christina from Perm asks what kind of exercises we can perform at home with a kid, for he could perform in the matinees, in the parties, in the kindergarten. I think that it's important to believe in your kid, to tell him that he is a genius and he works and performs everything wonderfully, and a kid will just believe in that. And if this is a girl, she will be very confident and she will work out. Yeah. So Serafima shares her own experience, how to act with the girl. What about boys? What recommendations they can give? I think that it is best of all to send a kid to a professional, to the person who works on that, and he has to perform to the amateur activity but run by professionals. Ivan, do you have a recipe? I think that you have to, parents, adult people have to play with the kid, that he should get used to the situation when a kid does something, and then parents assess him and praise him, of course, because this should be an exchange with the energy. Frankly speaking, we do not have kids. That's why it's rather difficult for us to say what should we say to a kid. I believe that we'd better send kids to the special activities place, special kindergartens. Well, we keep receiving questions. Natalia Vorobyova asks from Ivan, from Komi Republic, what role do you dream to play in the theater? At least one. Well, I have a dream to play Bazara from Fathers and Children. This is my dream. Yeah. Oh yes, people usually say Hamlet, but you have a very original, very unique dream. Well, today we're going to show your performance, and I have to warn you that people, these students, have already graduated from the university, and we recorded this performance. It was a diploma performance, the graduating performance. Well, the last year, our students just show this performance. They leave the university, and this performance doesn't exist long. So today, my question is, what are your relations with the classics? Because when you have the Gorky text, this is the nearly school text. You are familiar with this text very well, and there are so many stagings of this play. So how did you prepare yourself? How were you preparing yourself for this performance? Did it matter for you how the previous actors played it? How did you prepare yourself for the classical play? Well, actually, I'm very happy that we started with a classical play, but not with a modern play and something new, because all this gave us a direction to what kind of plays remain in the history for a longer time, and they stay in school, in history, everywhere. As for our preparatory work, for example, you play Luku. Did you read about Yevstigniev? Well, I watched that performance, and actually we were told, don't watch. No need for you to look at what the actors previously used to do. Well, you may watch, but just don't accept it for yourself. Yevstigniev was Satin. Your character, Satin. We watched the... That was Yevstigniev. That was Yevstigniev in Современник. So you have been watching these performances not just to borrow something, but what? For this performance would give you some sort of a push. Well, these are bigger actors with a big experience. Just the performance itself, where the characters are pretty old people. They are older than 30, but we are here very young. We are not even 25. And originally, when we were just rehearsing, we didn't have even the understanding of what kind of life he has and how he have been working on this. But when you look at the professionals, how they work, you just want to realize to understand how they feel in this role, in this atmosphere. Serafima, is it this important for you, for the characters which you played? I never watch. Here, there is a very big fear to borrow things and to make this character transparent for you. It works subconsciously for you that you take it on for yourself. Well, actually, none of us was happy that when we heard that the lower depth is the play, because we remembered that from our school days when we had to read it. There is a number of characters. They have very the whole chain of relations between them. So when we had to reread, of course, we changed our attitude like the one which we had when in school, but we were not happy. So this play was never among our favorite plays. Only in the process of working on this play, we learned how to love your character, because there is no any other way to successfully play the role, is just to love your character. Did you read about Stanislavski from? Yeah, of course. I read Stanislavski. I borrowed from him something. A trick when Satin wakes up in the beginning of the first act. Because he was sleeping on his wrapped shoes. Why not? And I did the same thing, and it was working. It worked very well.
Вопросы сыпятся зрителям. Значит, вопрос Алексея Жукова из Республики
So the
Коми.
question of Alexei Zhukov from Komi.
Значит, вопрос выпускника. Уже скучаете по альма-матер, окунувшись
Well,
во взрослую жизнь? Большое спасибо за ответ.
Do you miss your institute already? Well, I will start answering this question because I was noticing this students, because you haven't been here for some period of time. Well, and you know, I saw that you were charmed. Well, I used to visit this play. Well, we were here because we helped to organize the enrollment of a new course. And then later, when the new course was enrolled already, we used to come to visit them. But this is a very strange feeling. I think we didn't have such a break. There was not a feeling of a break when that we felt after graduation that this is it. This is not our place. Leave it. You got what you had to. Now you have to leave this place. This is really hard to leave your home. Yes, I agree, absolutely. Well, I have to remind to our spectators that you can leave your questions to the participants, and when you ask the question, please name yourself and name the place from where you watch us. So the author of the most interesting question will be awarded with a gift from the organizers of our festival. And so one of the nominees for this gift, this is Evgeny. Evgeny, you have to name your city. Hello, this is a wonderful meeting. The question is, I watched the performance and I really was so sad about the students drinking vodka in the fourth act. So was it difficult for you? But he saw your performance. Well, Andrey and I, we didn't. This is... Well, vodka was okay. It was water. But we really outside of the stage, we really tried how vodka tastes and how many shots each of us can take and how it works on you. So, well, the students say that you have to work and repeat things and rehearse. So now you are adults and you're in the adult life. But do you understand that the occupation of an actor is very dependent? So it's not the actor who chooses, but he is cast for, the actor is cast for the role. How do you live with that? What are your inner feelings? Well, we feel this constantly, even when we have graduated. After graduation, now we're in the process of the agencies and the cinematography maybe, and we see that nothing depends on you. You come up to the set, you do what you have to, and you cannot decide anything if they cast you or not. There is no way of fighting it. There is no way of fighting. We just have to accept it. This is the way how life works. We just have to accept this. If you are refused, you just say to yourself, well, okay, if not today, then tomorrow. And well, actually, I don't think that we are experiencing some great changes. I cannot tell you that in academy we were given opportunities to play what we wanted, because I played absolutely different things from what I wanted. Of course, we claim the roles which we want to. Yuri Mikhailovich is watching our claims, and then he casts us for the role, and he distributes and he gives us the roles, and it never depended on us. But on the other side, I can say that at the beginning of our work, we did everything we wanted, any kind of role. The girls could play men. We could do anything, but by the closer to the end, our teacher had a very clear understanding of what role the actors fits better. I have been working on the role of Bubnov, and I thought maybe I'll be laying on the bed, and Anna is next to me, also is about to die. And I thought, and then he said, "Well, you're going to do Luka, and just bring me some samples for I would read, for I would see you playing Luka." Ivan, what about you? If you want to play some role, how should you act? What you want to play Bazarov? What can you do? What shall you do to play Bazarov? Well, it depends on the approach of the director, how he is going to be. What are his feelings? What are his motives and targets? If there are some sketches which you have already shown to the director, when he can watch these sketches and different pictures of myself, and he can decide many things. There are very many things that work on you, for you. Well, just a drop of talent and lots of work. But presently, being in the theater, I get the episodes, but still I understand that this is great. And you've said that the actor really dependable. Yes, but he himself builds his role, and so it depends on him. Either he likes or dislikes his role. Well, I cannot agree exactly with you. When they tell you that you do the episode, you cannot say be happy. Yeah, but what can you change? Some mimical things. Well, you cannot change anything. If you are given an episode, you just have to be there. You cannot repeat what you've did yesterday, but you exist in a very rigid frames over there. Yeah, but we agree with that from the very beginning, that you enter the performance and you are in the frames. You enter this occupation, you have to understand that there are laws and you have to live by these laws. Zhenya Zayfred from Brest.
Здравствуйте. Хочу спросить Ивана Жукова о монологе Сатина. Это было сложно достичь той мысли,
Was it difficult in monologue of Satin to reach that idea of Gorky? Yeah, about the human being being proud. How did you reach that? I didn't reach the idea that Gorky embodied in this role. I do not even pretend to do that. I just tried to carry out that idea which I revealed in that monologue. And what I discovered over there, basing on this great text, I wanted to transfer it to the audience, for the audience would understand what I understand. We're all young, and the play of Gorky is a very big press. And there were many things which we didn't understand, and still we miss. There are very many things, many questions which we don't understand. Well, he was pretty young when he played it in 1902.
Андрей, вот продолжение того, о чем Иван говорит, да, Арсений Михайлов спрашивает. Арсений, вы
Arsenij
назвали
Mikhailov
свой город.
asks
Добрый вечер. Вопрос к Андрею.
the question to Andrey. Luka, is he creator or destructor? What do you think?
Хороший вопрос.
На мнение Юрия Михайловича.
На мнение Юрия Михайловича?
Мне кажется, он и не создатель, и не разрушитель.
He's neither creator nor destructor.
А он что-то
He's something.
не то и не другое.
He's none of the kind.
Не знаю,
It's hard to say.
со стороны просто
This is the side
создал, а здесь он просто
of a stranger. I don't want to go into detail of my contemplation about Luka. He was going his way. Luka goes his way, and I don't think that he had some special task to create something to make the world better, to improve the world. It's hard to say.
Вот смотрите, вот Сатин и Лука, да?
Well, Satin and Luka, you play these actors. Sofia from St. Petersburg asks, which dialogues of which character in the performance do you support? Are you from your characters? Or, yes, even when I was reading the play, I was always for Luka. Well, what about you, Serafima? Who do you support? Either you are for Luku or for Satin. Well, I do not like any of those. I don't like them. Well, my character likes Luka very much, but I do not like. Well, I would like to remind to our audience that the lower depth performance staged by Yuri Mikhailovich Krasovsky by the Institute of Scenic Arts, you are able to see at 8 o'clock in the evening. Well, Svetlana from St. Petersburg, a very simple question. What are your favorite places of St. Petersburg? Well, summer gardens in the winter.
Ну а что, летний сад летом, это как-то хорошо. А летний сад зимний дворец зимой, а летний
Summer gardens in summertime is very good. In winter is even better. Because there is nobody there, no one there in the winter time, and you just can go there, and you wonderful ideas come up to your mind.
А у вас какое место?
What is your favorite place in St. Petersburg?
Да, поэтому у меня, наверное, не какое-то такое вау-место, у меня это Красный мост.
This is the Red Bridge across Moika River. This is not far from my house where I've been living with parents. Yeah, we're on the Big Morskaya Street.
То есть вот это означает родное место.
Well, it means that this is a home, a real home. Yeah, this is a very beautiful site. And this place has its artistic and aristocratic magic in this place. I feel myself in harmony over there. I understand you. And what is your favorite place in St. Petersburg? Yeah. the embankment at the Institute of Culture with the Trinity Bridge and the right opposite Peter and Paul Cathedral. Well, actually, really, the Peter and Paul Cathedral. Peter and Paul Cathedral is the best place in St. Petersburg.
Красивое место, действительно, Петропавловка. А Татьяна из Санкт-Петербурга спрашивает вас,
Tatiana from St.
насколько для вас
Petersburg,
пьеса на дне современна? Чем
whether this performance, whether this play is modern, does it attract the audience, and with what it attracts the audience, may attract the audience to the theater? Many times we ask this question, and we always say that when we work on the different pieces and split it into pieces, we understand that some of the moments of the play, they really look alike. Just in the text of Gorky, there are very many phrases which you have to, very many exact phrases. There are great phrases that, for example, truth is what is going on at the moment. The text of the play is really unusual. It is not a trivial text, and at the beginning you do not see any connections with our life, with modern life. I keep remembering Kvashnya and her phrases, so I'm trying to think how it is related with our modern life, but if you let it in yourself, then you understand that this is very modern play. I think that every character reflects all those features which we have today. They're all polar, they're all opposite to each other, but when you listen to what they talk about, you can find a coincidence of spiritual state with some of them, because there are many different ideologies over there. And of course, this play is a discussion. It's not, of course, a everyday routine play. And the audience can choose who they like better, because each of us choose for themselves something. Maybe this is the target for the theater, not to give the ready-made answer to the audience, but the audience has to find out answers. Well, I've been watching the students for many years already in this institute, and I see how they work actively, how the students work very tightly, very intensively. But do you manage to see what is around the institute? What about your life outside of the institute? What do you like? What you are interested with something else but the life in the institute and the theater? Well, the theater. Well, but the theater, it doesn't take all the what else do you like to do besides theater? I like to make photographs. Do you have your own theme in taking photographs, or you take yourself? No. I don't like selfies.
Когда я говорю, я вижу свое лицо, я стараюсь абстрагироваться от этой штучки неприятной. Вот, так что нет, людей фотографируют.
Да, очень хорошая фотография.
I take photographs of people.
Чем интересуетесь? Вот я хочу понять.
And you, Andrey, what you are interested in? It cannot be so.
Нет, это я играю в компьютер.
А он в телефон играет, да.
He plays telephone.
Нет, самом деле я могу сказать в защиту видеоигр,
Well, I can support the video games.
тоже определенное
Actually,
искусство.
this is already an art, and actually, I find lots of good plots which are worth to be developed, which can enrich our understanding of the world. Well, of course, not only this, but
На самом деле сейчас больше стараюсь идти в сферу кино, но
I try to get involved with the film industry,
Но, Андрей, ты имеешь в виду играть в кино, правильно?
to
да?
play in the
А,
movies,
смотри, ну,
right?
есть у тебя, говорю, там, любимый режиссер?
But do you have a favorite director
российских именно режиссеров,
among Russian directors?
Ага.
I find it difficult to say,
но я в поиске.
but I'm looking for.
Да. Иван, а вы?
And Ivan, what about you? I said already, I play computer games.
Единственный серьезный человек — это Серафима, который
Serafima is the only serious person. She,
Просто игрушечки есть потрясающие игры.
Я даже в
потрясающие. Я бы
Sims не
как-нибудь
играла.
как-нибудь вам набросал бы какие-то.
Мы по
oh, there are wonderful
по окончании
games.
эфира, Андрей, с вами поговорим. Наверное, настала пора и мне заняться игрушками. Знаете?
Well, we will speak about that at the end of our session.
Ирина из Санкт-Петербурга
One more
спрашивает.
question.
Ребята, вы
Irina
большие
from
молодцы
St. Petersburg.
за
You are
все ваши
great
спектакли. Все ваши спектакли
students.
поражают душу.
All
Пишет
your
Ирина. И
performances
вопрос,
really
какой ваш
touch
любимый
my
спектакль,
soul.
поставлен
What is your favorite
вашим,
performance
мастером
which
или вашим
your teacher staged? We have a very evident situation
А у Ванечки это бег.
with Vanya. This is
Булгаковский
Beg
бег и,
by
Зори.
Bulgakov and the
Вот то, что
the
читают,
Quiet
наши,
Dawn,
ребята.
a
Я
play
думаю,
about
что,
the war.
будем подводить итоги, потому
So I
что
think
уже
that
осталось
we're
немного
going to
времени.
draw the
Сейчас пара
conclusions,
вопросов
and
успеваем.
we are
Поэтому
running of our
скажите, какой из
time. So
вопросов
will you
показался
please
вам
say what
самым
kind of
интересным?
question you found to be the most interesting? I think we
Нет, я считаю, нет.
Есть
Так.
Алексей Жуков, кажется, вот.
Да, но я
Alexei Zhukov.
в данный момент находится. Боюсь,
Yeah.
что памятный подарок до него не дойдет.
Мне понравился вопрос.
I like the
по поводу,
question,
созидатель и разрушитель. Ну, это
the
Опять же,
constructor
про вас
and
вопрос. Смотрите, они все хотят
constructive and destructive
Придите к общему
forces
решению.
of Luka.
Идите к общему решению.
Well, come up to the conclusion, decide.
жеребьевка.
Нет,
Надо просто вспомнить.
надо
We
просто...
just have to remember.
Мне показалось, что у нас самый серьезный человек Серафима.
Well, I think that Serafima is the most serious person
Только
here.
что я в компьютеры не играю. Ладно. А я как-то уже забыла все, о чем мы говорили с вами.
Про водку был вопрос интересный.
Well, there was a good question about vodka.
Да, к этой самой
Ну а что,
важной
серьезное
сцене.
дело, между прочим.
Я не знаю, как это задавал.
Это не
Нет,
совсем не Евгений задавал,
не
это
знаю.
у нас... задавал Евгений, да, действительно. Вы знаете всех наших зрителей. да?
Well, you know all our spectators. No, only those who ask the good questions. So, what about
Подождите, да,
Evgeny?
дайте нам,
Вот понимаете, что происходит, как
Сложно.
сложно.
You see how
ребята,
difficult it is.
Какие вы молодцы, зрители, что
And the
приходите
spectators
так
are really
вовремя.
our
Ну,
good
осталось
partners
буквально
because
30 секунд.
they
Давайте
give us
вопрос.
good questions.
на чьей стороне
Let
там
us
Лука и
choose
Satin,
the
и
question about the question like who do you support, Satin or Luka?
Софья,
Sofia from St. Petersburg, you won this contest and you get this package. This is a long sleeve shirt
театральной курточке и кое-что еще.
with the emblem of
Да,
our
и кое-что
festival.
еще. А я нашим гостям
And
вручаю
I
диплом
want to give a
участника
diplom
фестиваля
of
за
a
спектакль на
participant
дне.
of
Я
the
думаю,
festival
Евгений
for,
Михайлович
I think that you will pass it
Спасибо
to
вам огромное за участие в
Yuri
фестивале.
Mikhailovich. Thank you for participating in our festival. We have drawn the conclusions, and the company Art Neva want to express their gratitude to Committee of Culture and also to this Institute of Scenic Arts where we're located now, and the the In Contact company and Sibo Cafe, coffee shop.
Далее. За нашу безопасность в период пандемии
We
отвечает
thank
Краснополянская косметика,
Krasnopolanskaya
предоставившая
makeup,
нам антисептик.
which provided us with the, which provides us antiseptics.
И также
And,
на экране вы увидите
Here on the screen you can see
наши лейблы, значки
our
наших партнеров. Мы
emblems
выражаем
of
всем
our
огромную
partners. We are
благодарность
very
за
thankful
подготовку и
to all of
реализацию
them
нашего масштабного
for
фестиваля «Петербургские театральные сезоны
help
онлайн».
and aid
Друзья, напоминаю
in
вам,
the work of our festival. We remind you that in several minutes at 8 o'clock we'll start broadcasting the lower depth performance which was staged by Yuri Mikhailovich Krasovsky here in the Institute. And tomorrow I invite you to see Onegin and to meet the group of artists from the Приют Комедианта theater. I want to thank our participants, the students, the former students, and I want to say goodbye to everybody who was watching us.